Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Welcome to another Friday night bee chat. It's a little bit on the wet side here all day. It's still raining outside and it's cold. I'll go ahead and set up the link here. See if we can get it posted. Come on. And it's been pinned. Anybody wants to come in, come on in. And all that, just got a text. Hey there, Randy and Keith and Bundy and Russell. Hey, Tom. And what else we got? We got Brian and Clay and Hope and Jonathan. And let's see who else we got. We got Roy, Misbehaving Mike, or Misbehaving. I think I seen Nancy in here. Somebody met. There she is. Hey, Chatty. You got Jack and Danette. Well, anyway, it's been a very cold and it's been wet here for the last couple days or so, something like that. Haven't been in the hey Jason and Hallelujah Bee Farm, Russell, Dennis. Yeah, thanks, Nancy. I wasn't able to get in Wednesday. I had a club meeting. And hey there, Lynn. Oh, well, Lynn, the weather ain't that bad. I mean, we definitely need the rain, that's for sure, where things are dry and all that. But so anyway, haven't been able to get into the highs pretty much for a week or more. And I did drop a jacket in that. You're 82 degrees out in Wyoming. Very nice. And Hope's got to go pick up a swarm. How about that? Hopefully it'll be close to the ground, Hope, and all that. And so anyway, I haven't really been into the hives much. And me, Pastor Larry. And anyway, 82. Oh, I guess that was weather, Nancy. So it been, like you say, been wet, and rainy and cold, and I was able to drop a my Demaree video out this past week. It took me, seemed like forever to get that thing actually filmed properly, and I still made a mistake on it. If nobody has watched it yet, some of you have, and where I actually got instead of having all the bees underneath the excluder down into the brood chamber, I shook off the inner cover full of bees right on top of the brood nest and the honey super. So I did go off camera and rectify that problem by pulling them two boxes off and shaking them all down underneath the queen excluder. And hey, Mike, good to see you. And as far as Easy Ox and 21st Bees, then that's Michael Mather. I want to talk as soon as we get up some amount of people in here. Looks like everyone here already. Oh, anyway, yeah, Michael. Got your package today, Michael. I'm going to talk about that as soon as a few more people get into the chat and everything. And so anyway, I finally got that film done. It's pretty close. Hey, Mark. And it's I know some folks on the Monday night show with Bill said that they thought it was a good video, which I'm hoping that The main thing of it is I wanted to be very clear and accurate on how to set that hive up. It's a little bit of work in the beginning like that, as far as when you first take your hive and turn it into a Demaree setup. But once you kind of get it there, it's not too bad after that. Um, Especially when that's where that hive lifter comes in. The next video that I do, as soon as the weather kind of clears up, um, I want to get in there and show you how I use the hive lifter, raise up the honey super along with that top brood chamber, and actually go through the top brood frame first, and then flame you. No, Michael, we're not going to do that. Actually, to be quite honest, Michael, I was quite impressed after really looking at things over with. Like I say, we'll get up to about 80 some people there, and I'll talk about your package you sent me and all that. But so anyway, like I say, back to the Demaree. I want to go ahead and make a another video about it on how I go in and make sure that people understand that you have to take the top cap brood frames from the top brood chamber, and once they're 95% hatched, and you're going to pull those frames out of that box, put them off to the side, especially if you have let's say a medium box off to the side. Take off those honey super in that brood chamber, and then get underneath down in the brood chamber and go through that hive again and check for cap brood cells again, or brood frames, and then pull them out and then take those empties and put them back in. Hey, Matthew and Jonathan. And just, to keep that clarified, I think it was, I don't know, there was one gal here that was really looking forward to that video. I believe she's out in, let's see, Oklahoma. I'm not sure. I'm trying to look at here on my papers to see if I can see the name. I think her name is Kathy. And all that. So anybody wants to stop in and hang out, that'd be great. I'm cutting swarm cells from Mark there's doing something here. Or Tom, I mean. Cutting swarm cells from a monster hive. Took the queen and 2 open brood frames 4 days ago. Now I need to check and see if the 8 cap brood frames are very close. So, well, that's good, Mike, Tom, making some extra hives there. And all that. But I was just checking here about a person that was interested in that. But oh, can't see her. Can't find her name here in front of me on my list of people that wanted to do that as far as the Demaree. So that's what's been happening here. Just kind of waiting for the weather to warm up. They're talking, I believe, Monday is supposed to, Monday, 61 degrees. And it's supposed to be in the 60s Monday and Tuesday, and then 50s the rest of the week. And then back up into the It really just doesn't seem like it's going to um, be all that warm until the last part of April, seems like. I know that Roy says it's warm enough to tip some highs. I'm going to try to look you up the weather here. Yeah, for here in Maryland, it's going to be 73 Monday, Tuesday 63, and it's going to kind of bounce right around high 50s, low 60s for the rest of next week. Possibly some rain next weekend, of course, and all that. So it just seems like to me that the weather's against us here a little bit this year. And the biggest thing I've noticed in my hives is that um, there's Philip. How's
Hey,
everything, Texas, Philip? You there? I can.
yeah, can you hear me? Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's bare. Can you turn it up some or get closer?
Yeah.
Where are you at? In the backyard or over at the farm?
Is that better?
A little bit.
Is that better?
It's not real clear.
I got. Yeah, it's probably because we got I got to set my tin up. So
Oh, there you go. Now we can hear you.
can you hear me better? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you better now. Looks like
Boy,
you
you're
got your
loud.
Boy Scout suit on.
Yeah, I do. I've got to set my tin up. I'm doing some training tomorrow, so I'm having to camp out. Got to start early in the morning.
What are you going to do? Go climb? Yeah, it looks like to me you got your climbing there or something.
Oh, no, that's just my rope to show people how to tie knots. Not if you wouldn't want to be hanging off a cliff with that rope. I promise you.
Hey, Darren. Uh, so were you at the farm out there where you're going to set your tent up?
No, I'm in Grayford, Texas, which is near Mineral Wells, or sort of near Mineral, 30 miles from Mineral Wells. It's a Boy Scout or a Scout camp. Excuse me, it's not all boys anymore.
Okay.
But my troop will be here later, but I'm really not fooling with them. I'm only doing training for adults. So how your bees doing?
They're okay. It's been cold. We did get some rain here, which we need the rain. It's
Yeah.
rained all day today. It's been a nice, slow, steady rain that it's soaking into the ground and it's supposed to kind of clear off a little bit tomorrow morning, I think. And then maybe Sunday will be 65, 68 degrees. Maybe I can kind of look around a little bit. The biggest thing is, and I don't know everybody here, maybe you can give me some advice. It's been so cool and cold here in Maryland, and I got bee population, but I don't seem to have a lot of brood in the hive. I don't know whether the queen is sort of like shutting down. Hey, Dinah, and whether or not she's not really brooding up heavy because of the cold weather, and or is it? I got queens that are just kind of failing, like I had last year, where I replaced them all, and the new girls got in there and took off like gangbusters and all that stuff. and I don't know. Uh,
I don't know. I had out in the country, I had bees that looked like your bees did a couple of years ago. The first one opened up. I mean, it was just, it's like inch and a half thick of bees all across the top of the frame. But when I got into them, they were real. There was not much food. They were real light, out of food. And a couple of them were crashing. A couple of them were starving out, and a bunch of dead bees on the bottom. So I fed a
yeah,
bunch of them, and it was like one of those things with this strong. If they hit a flow while I'm gone, they need supers. But the way they were at that moment, they needed food. So
yeah,
I didn't know. Some of them I put supers on. Some of them I put food on.
yep. How you doing, Mark Miller? You're out in the bee yard there.
I'm doing good,
Oh,
Charlie.
Mark.
Hi there, Philip. Boy, are
Hey,
you
Mark.
camping
Hey,
out?
yeah, I'm gonna be camping tonight, sleeping on the ground. I'm glad you got on, Mark, because when you get through telling us what you're up to, I got a real important question for you about queen raising.
Okay. I don't know if I can answer it, but I'll give you something.
Hey, hey, Sandy. So what's
I'm
up,
out.
Mark?
I'm
What's
out here walking around. I've been having trouble with this phone getting signal every time I try to get on here.
yeah,
So I'm seeing how far I can actually get. You,
okay,
s- you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
I've only got like 2 bars on this phone. So, and every time I turn, it goes down to 1. So I don't know if I can get very far out here.
mm-hmm. Hey,
It's
Pete.
cold here.
It's cold here too. It's 44 degrees and it's raining. It's been raining all day,
Yeah,
but we need it. We are dry. It's making the hay grow. It's behind me. There was last year's picture, but the grass behind me today looks about as green as that right there, which is good
right.
and all that stuff.
Uh,
So, are you messing with the queens as far as doing any grafting yet, or is it just too cold?
I wanted to come out here and check my cells, but it's too cold and windy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll just wait, and the sun's setting. So I'll just wait till tomorrow and check them.
Right.
Uh, I've got 191 in right now. I thought it was 200, but it was 191.
Great.
I'm at 400, right at 400. Well, 390 91.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's been tough. I mean, it's been tough. Rain, weather up one day and down the next. So it's been hard to do. And my time, I do it on Tuesday and that's it. So it's like Sunday. I had some match out Sunday night and I had to go to work. So I just tossed them in on a builder. Uh, so I got virgins out there. It's been out there a week almost.
Mm.
I hadn't made no splits. I hadn't been able to. And you see what all I got to split.
All them are
So,
splits out there.
Them were mostly double deep for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah, but are they splits or are
No,
they
them are double deep hives. Most of them.
right?
There's a few double nukes out there, maybe triples. Uh,
so what do you put those?
I,
What do you put
I
those
still,
cells in, Mark?
Mark, you just
I think you
lost
lost.
you. Just lost you.
Yeah, I was going to ask him with that many cells, what does he put? What does he put them all in?
I don't know. Mark's out. Dinah here now. Dinah lives not too far from me. They had a lot of let's say there. She has still colonies that are insulated or wrapped with insulation. All right, there
It's
goes Mark.
high.
Mark's
Is it back?
he's Mark. He's I don't know. He's cycling out. He's probably coming back in. Uh,
Okay.
Had some queen cells that were capped this week, so I'll check in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. I think for me, I pulled them wraps off about, I don't know, the last time we had warm weather. And maybe it was too early. It's just been cold. I maybe Nancy said the same thing, not to judge the queens right now. And she's north of me. And Brian, Flower Street out there in Colorado, I was going through the trying to read everybody. He's had a beautiful week. Got 40 splits done. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And put 30 supers on colonies to draw comb. That's what I'm going to do, Brian. I know you've had some cold weather and some snow and stuff out there. I don't know. It seemed like Mark phone's out of connection. But
Yeah,
well, I lost him.
he'll come back, I bet.
Yeah, Brian says that. Let's see, where is it at? And then Mark out or Brian out there in Flower out in Colorado, he ordered 100 more foundations. Everything has been jumping. Cool. He's his weather's up. He's had 60s and 70s all this week. I think that's the big thing. Is we've been having cold weather, and it's been a roller coaster here where I'm at on the East Coast, um, and all that.
Yeah, if Mark makes it back in, I might have to. Maybe he's listening, but I have a problem with my grass that I was going to ask him about. Me and Noah grafted for the first time on Tuesday, and went and checked them today. Not Tuesday. Yeah, I guess it was Tuesday. No, it wasn't. It was Wednesday. Um, so we made a mistake by putting in some brood into the cell starter. And I knew when I did, after I did it, I thought, man, they might just pick whatever they can find on those brood frames and disregard our graphs. And they kind of did. They disregarded all but one. We got one queen cell that started out of 28, but there was about 7 to 9 queen cells started on those frames we put in.
Mm-hmm.
So we knocked them all down. I knocked those down, and we're going to try again on Sunday. But we've got that one cell, which is like, it's the first cell that Noah did it that we've ever had take. So I don't want to take it out. Will they take my new graphs with that one cell started, or will they just ignore them? That's my question, I guess.
Yeah. Um,
Or do I need to move that new cell to a split? That'd be the safest thing, I think. It's only going to be, 4 days old at that point.
it's a cap queen cell.
No, it's just 2 day old. It's 2 days. They're working it. They've drawn it down about a quarter inch off the cup,
Yeah.
so they're working
Well,
it.
they'll cap it in 6 days. They'll be capped if you got the count right.
Yeah.
And
The only,
and once you cap it, then you can go ahead and move it
yeah.
and
I was
put
just
it
not.
in.
I was hoping I didn't have to wait that long to start some more. I was hoping to do it Sunday,
Well,
which
you
would
could
only
as
be
long as you got plenty of good heat there. The bees to keep that cell warm and continue to feed it and all that. It would be like putting it and a self finisher, I guess you would call it.
So you'd recommend moving it, right? So they'd be queenless for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to move the cell to a queenless hive or a queenless nuke, I'll say.
Yeah, I think that's my bet. I'd like to just leave it there, but I'm afraid they won't start my other cells that I graft if I leave it there. And I don't know. Mark might say it doesn't matter. Now, doesn't Ian and Carrie, don't they just move the cell bar over and graft new ones, or do they put a divider between them?
Hmm.
Somebody in the chat probably knows that answer to that question.
Um, I know what you're saying. I remember watching the video of that where they stepped that
I,
they stepped that bar over so many bars over, and they put another graft in there
yeah, like 4 bars away. Yeah.
and all that. But I don't know whether or not now that they use an incubator. I do know that. Um, yeah, that's a good idea, Russell. How about
What's he
using
say?
your double screen board and putting a nuke on top of a strong hive, and that way you got a good heat and move your cell up there with that nuke.
Okay, I might do that.
That would be the most optimal way of doing it. You know, put double screen board on top of the hive. You got your
On
queen in
top
the
of this,
bottom. Put your
on
queen in
top
the
of this,
bottom.
yeah,
Put that nuke up on top. Let that heat come up there. Let her let them cap it. Let her hatch, and then have a entrance out the back, and she'll go and fly and mate, and you'll have a nuke. Have a second hive on top of a hive.
yeah. I may do that. I'm just, I'm just thinking I need to move it just to make sure they're queenless for sure. But that's what I was hoping with Mark. I know he's had that experience. Of course, Mark's probably, if he's not happy with his grafted bar, he probably just throws it out and starts again. He doesn't mix. He probably doesn't worry about one cell. But since that's the first one Noah's ever done, I certainly don't want to throw
Well,
it away.
yeah, you got to be on a schedule like myself, depending on when you want to. When you All right, for me, I am going to let my queens hatch. Hey, Rick, and I'm going to let them hatch in the incubator, mark them, and then I'm going to walk them on into my mating boxes, and where I I you got to count the days out, and if you're grafting on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, I think it's a Wednesday. If you graft on Wednesday, the 6th day is a Monday, and then you take that. It'd be a cap queen cell, and then um, put that cap queen cell in the incubator on a Monday, and then you got well, let's see. I think that'd be 9, and you got 16 days. So 7 days after that, she's going to hatch within, let's say, 6.5 to 7 days, and depending, exactly what the time increment there is. So she might hatch out on a Monday, depending on whether you want everything to be on a weekend so you can take care of business on the weekend. That's the main thing. Now we got Rick Sutton here. He could tell you right down to the minute on all that stuff.
Yeah, he
Because
needs to come on.
he needs to come on. I need to get him to get his video up and running and have somebody show him how to get on. I know he was down there at Hive Life when I first went down there on the first year of that, and he taught um, how to set up a cell builder and grafting and that kind of stuff.
Rick's probably gonna say, "Don't worry about one on measly queen cell. Throw that one out and start over."
Well,
He
here's
don't know
Mark.
how my son.
So,
Oh,
Mark,
there you are.
if you have
I
a
heard
bad
you.
did you just throw them out and go start all over again?
Yeah, and my wife cleared some stuff off here too. Maybe that'll help. I'm in my shop now, but I put a metal roof on that double wide, and last year I could talk out here no problem. But the Wi-Fi system's underneath the metal roof,
Ah,
so I think that's what it is.
well,
Yeah.
But to
Mark, did
answer
you hear
your
my?
question, yeah, I heard
Yeah.
you. Answer your question is, will they take your sale? I don't know. I don't know that. Um, they might. They really don't have no choice. Probably. I don't know how far along they are,
Yeah.
but they'll
Well,
make a
that
sale
yeah.
probably out of a what?
Hey,
I imagine in an emergency they'll probably make a sale
Daddy,
out of
can't hear anything.
5 day old, 6 day old larva.
Right, but I guess that they made sales off of the brood frame that I put,
Hmm.
and I put them in there last minute.
I'm on my cell phone. I'm trying to figure out technical issues here.
All right. I'm gonna.
We were we were making our splits, Mark, and we had 4 extra brood frames left. And I said, well, let's throw these in our cell builder because they had a whole bunch of cap brood on them.
Right.
Well, it turns out that they ended up on 2 of those making a bunch of queen cells instead of messing with our graft. And it could have been some pretty poor grafting there too. That's not, but they did start one of them. I knocked down everything that they started on the frame,
Well, they
but
order build cells now. I mean, after you give it a couple more days and go through it and make sure they don't have no more rogue cells again, and then try
yeah,
it.
but even with that one that's in the queen cup in the JZBZ cup there, they'll still make more. That
They
was my
might.
question.
They might if
Yeah.
they'd rather have theirs than that yours.
Well, I mean, they'd all
So
still be mine. That one was one of ours, but it was the only one they took
Yeah. I.
yeah,
before.
but if they got one within a few days, they'll rather pick theirs, I think,
I
than
think
Well, I
Mark.
yours.
don't think.
What you're saying
Yeah,
is, Phil, you're grafting a frame in,
What's going
and then he
on?
wants to later on put another frame of cells in that same hive. But I don't think that's going to
yeah,
work, is it, Mark? You can't put. You have to put. You have to put 2 frames in at the same time, not one staggered one from like say 5 days apart or anything like that, right?
I just go through mine and give it time and go through it and make sure, they don't really have no choice to make any.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Hey, Norman. Hey, Clay.
Hi,
I'm,
Michael.
I'm, I may do like Charlie said. That's only how many days does it take? 6 days.
6 days from the cap, and after that, I put
Yeah,
mine in incubator.
Okay, I can
The
I can
day,
wait two
the
more days
day I
probably.
now, Phil, the day I graft is day one. So the 6th day they should be capped.
Yeah,
So if
that's the way I count it too.
I graft on a Tuesday, uh,
they're gonna hatch on a Sunday.
yeah, not a Tuesday, a Wednesday. They're gonna be capped on a Monday. Or yeah, if you do it on a Tuesday, they'll be capped on a Sunday. That way, if you have to work, you can get them in the incubator. You got time to do that. And then on Sunday, that's 6. So that'd be 9. And then what is it? It's going to be the following Sunday will be, or Sunday or Monday,
Yeah,
they'll be hatching. Sunday, Monday, they'll be hatching.
yeah. If you graft on Tuesday, they're gonna hatch on Sunday. If you do it right and you don't get too old of a larva.
Yeah. So, I mean, Michael from 21st Bees, he's having technical problems about coming in
Yeah.
and all that. But um, I know that Clay was looking for jars, cases. Are we looking for glass, Clay? I know Nancy put out fillmorecontainer.com. I get my stuff, which is plastic, which is by the case. Of course, I'm like Nancy. I can drive to Lancaster and pick it up at the business, the what they call it. It's Gamber Container Company.
Where's
And
that at? Where's that at, Charlie?
Gamber Container is right off of Interstate or Route 30 and on the west side of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they have it's right where basically it's Gamber Container and um, the other part of the company has another name, and I can't think of it right now. That's where the tractor and trailer loads of honey come from all over the United States. Michael, you're back. Can you hear me?
I can actually hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear
Okay.
you good. Well, while you're on here, Michael, and everybody else that's on tonight, I got I won't say a surprise present, but Michael sent me some frames. Let's see if I can get them to shine there. There we go. These are medium frames that he makes at his factory, I'll call it. And I'm impressed, I'll have to say. To touch, you can feel that it's sticky. It's got, a good amount of wax on there that you spray. And you can actually, if you hold it in the light just right, you can see the wax. And then you've got the transition holes, which are common old idea that I know that you can buy foundation and knock the corners out of here in the bottom. And, that's so the bees can pass through. You just build them into your frame. And this is regular standard size cell frame for me, 5.4. I know Mike builds small cell, and he also builds drone cell frames. And one thing that I really noticed, I mean, it's definitely heavy and definitely sturdy. There is no place for any beetles. I don't really have small hive beetle problem here too much. Now, folks in South Carolina and the deep South do. And there are some around here that do. I don't seem to have it. I guess because of mine is out in 100% in sunlight. But what I was really interested or impressed is the thickness of this ear right here and the top bar. It reminds me, I'd say it has the same strength as wood because I use a J hook. And then when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to put that J hook on the other frame and pick the other frame up, I use Acorn and some other plastic frames that I've had over the years. I think from Man Lake, it will dent that ear because it's kind of
Oh
hollow.
yeah.
It's kind of hollow, and
Mm-hmm.
I think this here has the sturdiness. Like if I'm in my hive, I happen to have, let's say, one wooden frame, and I'm trying to open even though you're trying to racking the frame sideways to get it, the propolis busted up, you still have a lot of pressure trying to get this hive up out or the frame up out of there with that J hook to jack it up. And that rocking point puts a lot of pressure right there. And most of the other frames are sort of hollow, I'll call it, and this is solid. I think this has got as much strength as a wooden frame as far as no dentations and everything. But I'm really impressed with it. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it as a brood frame. I got some hives out there that need another medium box, and I don't really have any more brood comb. I have plenty of honey super comb, which I don't want, any brood in. And I'm gonna hopefully get them to build wax out on them, and I'm gonna, take everybody along with me on a video on it, and put that on there along with I had 4 different hives, so I'm gonna drop that box of medium on top of that brood out there, along with the other ones will have acorn on there. We'll see how it goes. How as far as wax acceptance. Like I say, you can take an acorn. Yeah, you can see the wax because it's black, and this is sort of what we call that, a brown looking color,
Brownish tan.
brownish tan, more like tan.
Yeah.
But I can see the wax on there, and I can feel the wax. It's actually tacky, sort of the way So
Yeah.
I looked at them at the EMBA and
yep.
felt of them, and they were really good quality. To me, they felt when I first seen them, they reminded me of a Yeti cooler. And a
Yeah.
Yeti cooler is tough. That plastic, it felt like that same stuff to me. I mean, it's really durable.
Oh yeah.
So
I think they're that's definitely a tough frame for sure.
yeah,
I mean
yeah, they're
there's no
nothing like the cheap
there's no
plastic one.
there's no
Yeah.
twist in this frame at all.
Uh. Uh.
It's got this. I think it's got the same strength as a good wooden frame.
I'd
And all.
say better actually.
Yeah,
If as long as it can take the heat, you know.
I
Uh,
think so. And the other thing I've had experience with is if I have black plastic out there with acorn, keep them out of the sunlight because they will curl up like a bunch of. I've never had them do that, but I've had the wax get hot and melt. You
Yeah,
could definitely tell the wax was melting on it. And I make sure I keep those frames inside of a cardboard box they come in and out of the direct sunlight for sure and all that. So, but yeah,
yeah.
go ahead, Mike.
That's part of why we didn't make any like real dark colored ones.
Uh,
That way, if you're working out in the hive and you want to lean one up against a box here or there, it won't heat up near as fast as the black one. You've got more working time, not to have to worry about it.
no, but that's like I say, that's a tough frame. I really like that. I was really surprised. I mean, to me, as far as beekeeping equipment, like oh, a frame is a frame, but definitely, definitely, uh, there's a lot more to that frame than any other frame out there on the market. I can tell you that much.
it looks like a lifetime
Yeah,
frame. Can you re-roll wax on there and wash it with a power washer and stuff like that?
oh yeah, yeah. Part of why it's so thick, the way I designed it, you can clean it however you want. You can dip it in boiling water and it won't twist up on you like the other ones will. You can power wash it, especially those holes being right in the dead center. If you want to get you a piece of plywood and stick you some dowel rods in it, you can drop a rod through that hole and it'll keep it from taking off on you while you're washing it down.
Yeah,
You can stick it in a solar melter and you can let it sit and cook all day. You don't have to worry about it twisting and warping on you from the heat.
Really?
that's
So you can just
awesome.
whatever's most convenient to you, just do whatever's convenient. When I clean mine, I dip them in a. I take a turkey fryer on outside on a burner, get it up to boiling, and I just dunk my frames in it, and that's how I melt mine off. So if
My
you've been
only
using them for
question
years and you
is the
start getting
cost.
that comb build up,
I know it's a lifetime frame, but
yeah,
it's the
they're more
cost.
expensive.
That so you
Yeah,
can
they're more expensive than wood for sure.
Oh yeah, they're gonna last you forever. So you got to
so
calculate that too.
Yeah,
yeah.
it,
So Michael,
yeah. If you're only
you take you take and dip that frame in that you say a turkey. What do you put water in there to melt the wax off?
Yeah, I just take. That's how I've been cleaning. Just even my wood frames, I do it the same way. I just take an outdoor turkey fryer, burner, put a real big, like the ones you deep fry turkey in for Thanksgiving. I
Yeah,
just take one of those, fill it up most of the way of hot water, bring it to a full rolling boil, and I'll
yeah,
dip one side in and flip it over and dip the other. And then when I'm done, you're going to have all the gunk. You're going to have wax floating in it, and just let it sit there. Put the lid on it, let it cool down overnight, and everything will separate. You can take that little wax cake back off the top and use it, melt it down and use it again.
yeah. But you're not going to hurt your frame. They're not going to twist or anything like that, huh?
Nah,
No. Well,
that's
see,
part of having to
I
make
had
it
this
that beefy.
problem last year where I had a bunch of acorn and I get a lot of what would you call it, pollen frames and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
I just I tried to push it, scrape it off. I tried to freeze to make it brittle to come off. And I said the only thing I could do would probably be like a air chisel in order to chisel the damn stuff off because it would rip my shoulders
Yeah,
apart. And I just personally, I just threw the darn things away. I mean, I had so many of them. Hey, Ian,
Will
and what do you
one of
got
these
there?
fit in it? Will a beetle trap fit in them frames pretty good?
yeah. So the outer dimensions of the frame are the exact same dimensions of a standard wood frame. I used I used a Dadant frame and a Kelly frame because I've got tons of old Kelly stuff. That's what I kind of modeled mine off of. The only thing that's different about it dimensionally is the end of the tabs. I made them just a hair shorter. That way they'd fit all the plastic hives because those seem to be a little bit tighter on the rabbits where they're
Right.
molded in. So it's
Yeah,
like
so it's gonna be just
a
like
six,
using wood, basically.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
but
like a 16th shorter on the ends, but everything else is exactly the same dimensions as wood. You can use all the same tools. If you butt them right up next to a wood frame, the dimensions, the outers look identical, the gaps are identical. You wouldn't know the difference other than that they're plastic.
well, that's a big thing too because I know
That's a big plus for
Bob
sure.
Walker stated that um, wooden frame, like you say, the wooden frame's a little bit bigger or fatter than the normal, let's say, acorn frame. And
Mhm.
going through that automatic uncapper made a huge difference as far as
Yeah,
feeding through and getting a better job because it was really kind of designed for wooden frame shoulders on the wood going through there in order to cut the wax just so and all that. So that's quite of interesting.
yeah. The
That would be a major plus when it comes to plastic versus the wood. They will act the same in an automatic encapping system.
yeah. If you look at them, sorry, yeah. The end bars. If you look at them and compare them, the end bars, the bottom, the top, everything is actually the exact same thickness as what a wood frame is, except I
Mhm.
made it out of plastic. So dimensionally, everything lines up. All your frame grabbers. I mean, everything's universal on it. Actually, Cayman's got a bunch of them from me that he's going to get drawn out and fill, and he's going to run them through his new Callan line, extraction line this summer, and do a video on it. So you can kind of see whether they work or not for them. You can see them running through a commercial line to kind of see how that works too. 'Cause said a lot of those they have problems where they get little splinters of wood coming off of them that kind of get into everything. So maybe these will kind of help eliminate some of that problem.
Will a hot knife bother it?
No.
Just slide right down it. Okay.
Yep.
It won't melt, Michael. Hey,
I mean, if
Brian.
you sit it there and don't move it long enough, I guess it would
Yeah,
start
but
to
long
leave a little
if you're
mark. But
if you're
if
using
you're
it
just
for a
doing your normal
fly,
uncapping,
Right.
yeah,
yeah, if you're using it like you're supposed to use one, it's fine.
Right.
So,
yeah, okay.
but
Because
yeah, and then
um I use a Maxant um uh uncapping plane and all. But
oh,
like
okay.
you say, as long as you're moving it quickly, I don't see it's going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you stopped on a spot 5-10 seconds, it's not going to hurt anything. But you don't want to leave it sitting there for a minute or two.
Right.
Right.
It's plastic. You're eventually going to get to a certain point where it's going to start to give a little. It's just
Right.
nature of it. So they're
True.
not indestructible. I mean, if you try hard enough, you can destroy them.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's but in normal use fashion, as far
Normal
as
wear and tear.
whatever else, they're going to stand right up, no problem at all. Then,
Yeah, if I buy a
Yeah.
bunch of them, I sure ain't gonna abuse them. I'm gonna try to keep them.
yeah. Brian said that his box arrives tomorrow. He's excited to try them out. Yeah, I like I say, I got mine today, and um, I was really impressed. The amount of waxes on there, and like you say, you got the frame, the sturdiness of the ears and the bars. I can tell that I'm not going to have a problem denting that piece of plastic.
Mhm.
When if I have to pull, go from one frame to the other to get it broke loose or whatever. Sometimes they got them pretty much glued down. Especially, I think a lot of times up underneath the next frame and
Yeah, I
everything.
mean, mine are like the really propylized heavy, and I like to use a J hook too, so I'm always prying and twisting on mine. And so far, the
Yeah,
ones I have out here in the yard that I've done, I've never had a problem with them.
yeah. I
How
haven't
much
had
do they
too much
weigh
problem with
versus
acorn,
wood?
huh?
How much do they weigh versus wood as
Mm,
far as weight?
mm.
Oh, they're considerably more. A deep frame is almost a pound and a half. A medium is a little less than a pound and a quarter, like a pound and an eighth. So you're adding about 11-ish pounds to a medium. and about 15 pounds to deep. So I tell people, if you like to use deeps as supers, you probably don't want to use these unless you are young and have a really good back. I
or a
wouldn't personally. I wouldn't
Or,
want to use. I wouldn't want to use them
or,
as deep supers myself.
or a hive lifter.
Well, yeah. But
But
yeah, it's like people ask me, and I tell them, take in consideration what you're comfortable lifting, how good your back is, and they may not be for everybody for every application. It just kind of depends on how you run your yard. I do all mediums because of the weight in my back. So even mine filled up with mediums. That's not a problem for me. But personally, I'm using deeps as brood, but I'm not using any deeps as supers because that would be a little much for my screwed up back.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
These people
Too
that
much
do
for
3 and
me.
4 deeps, no. Yeah, yeah.
Philip,
I
you're
used to
muted.
do the. Oh,
go
did it
ahead.
mute again?
Philip's muted. He was trying to say
Oh,
something like.
All right, let me unmute him, man. And let me go up here. Oh,
hey,
there he is. He's got it.
I wasn't talking to you guys. I'm talking to these knuckleheads right here.
Okay.
Some more scouters. So yeah, I'm just listening to you and talking to them. I'll mute myself, and if I have something to say, I'll come back in. Y'all get back to talking about them frames. I'm enjoying that.
All right.
All right,
yeah,
good.
like
All right, we got a couple questions here. Brian out Flower Street out there in Denver says, "What about the added weight to your extractor?" Um, I don't think there would be much issues myself. I don't think, except
No,
as
because
if
long
the
as
you're hiring
extractors
I,
are
them,
made to take a lot of weight.
yeah,
They're made tougher than you think.
well, the other thing is you're going to have to make sure that your extractor is balanced, and that's with
Yeah.
any bunch of frames.
Anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Now I will
can
say
you?
on the extractors, if you're doing a manual extractor, a hand crank, it may take you another minute to get it up to speed because you don't want to crank on as hard as you can with that little extra weight, wear your arm out. I mean, that'd be the only difference I'd really see is, you gradually speed it up a little bit more to get it going. And once you've got that centrifugal force spinning, it shouldn't be any difference to you.
Nancy wants to know, can you use these in position one? And she runs 8 frames, so 1 and 8 for winter insulation. That would be probably having honey in there. I would think so. Wouldn't be any problem with that. I mean, I use plastic frames now and all plastic, and I don't have any issues with that part of it and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Anyway, that's some of the other stuff. And then Nancy, she was asking about the turkey fryer. That was to be able to unwax, get the old comb off of the plastic frames and then re-wax them so you can reuse them again. Let's say if you had a frame full of pollen you're trying to get rid of, like me, I
Yeah,
get pollen bound quite a bit, and people
yeah, I
say,
do
"Well,
too.
why are you taking it out? Why are you taking it out?" I says, "Because it doesn't do me any good. Number one, the bees are not going to eat it because they're looking for fresh in the spring and summer, and number two, they can't lay no eggs in it, and it's like it's wasted space in the brood chamber, And I'll keep
Hmm.
one frame in there, but I ain't letting them have 2 or 3."
Oh, mine will pack pollen away. I'll have deeps that I've out here that I'm working on, or mediums, or anything that I'll have 3, 4, 5 frames of pollen in a box sometimes. I guess I need to open up pollen traps and actually try to trap some to reduce some of that. But I have traps out here just because, like on the plastic ones, they just kind of come
Mm,
with them. But I don't use it. I don't sell it. I don't really have a reason to trap it other than maybe opening up some more space, I guess.
right, and all that, and yeah, Tiny Creek. Yeah, they're a little bit on the expensive side, but definitely you're getting more for your buck. I'll have to say that much, as far as when it comes to
Yeah.
plastic and all
Yeah.
that.
When I tell people about the price, I'm just they're more expensive up front. Most places you can get a wood frame, plastic foundation in a deep. We'll just call it like $4 ish is kind of common. I see a lot. Ours are 7.25 to start with for a deep. So if you're only going to keep bees for a couple of years, it's just kind of a thing you're messing around with, and you're most likely going to quit. It's definitely not worth the investment. Just it's not. If you plan to keep doing bees, past that year 3 where a lot of them are gone by then, or you've already been doing a handful of years, that first time that you've got to replace foundations or broke frames, it'll pay for itself. So it just kind of depends on what your plans are. If you only plan to have a little side project, you're not really serious about it. I mean, I just save my money and I just honestly wouldn't buy them. But if you're really trying to get into beekeeping for the long term, to me it's worth the investment. But there's not for everybody. It's just one of those things.
Well, it's like with me, that everybody talks about getting boxes that are wax dipped, or they're getting boxes with a copper sulfate or whatever it is that
Yeah,
Bob Benny was doing, the green looking stuff, which is the same thing. That's the same stuff as treated lumber. So I'm thinking to
yeah,
myself, now wait a minute. You're treating your boxes where your bees are going to live, and it's actually you got treated lumber boxes. Now, is that good or bad? You know,
yeah.
I have to
I
think about.
can't go that
Well,
far. I've bought wax dips this year, and I got some plastics to try out. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand the whole basically sticking them in treated wood. I mean, I'm not going to go
well,
that far.
what I was getting at is like you were just saying about how long are you going to be in the beekeeping business? And for me,
Yeah,
uh, I just go ahead and paint my boxes. I like them painted, and yeah, it's. I mean, I paint them in the winter time anyway, and I've got 2 or 3 boxes out there that are rotten. I got a little section where it's rotten in a
oh yeah,
corner where you're prying on them, and I've had a couple bottom boards I had to replace here. But I've been at it for 15 years. Them bottom boards that lasted 10 to 15 years. So, I think I got my money's worth out of them,
yeah,
and that kind of stuff. And so, doing the extra expense to do wax dip, if you're going to be in it for the next 30 years, if you're starting out at a young age, yeah, definitely do it. Uh, but
I
it
ain't
just
got 30 years, Charlie.
I don't either. I don't either.
I'm sure I don't. So.
I might have 75 years, maybe or another 10, maybe 15. I'll be done by that time. Too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody sting the like button for me. We have 109 people here, and I don't know. It says only 7 or 8 likes. I got 25 there. It says I had to
Yeah, it's like
refresh.
it's like the last time I was talking to you. I tell people I'm not a salesman, so these aren't for everybody. Financially, not everybody's in a position to do it. Your plans, it just doesn't always work out for you. So that's part of the reason why I sell them in 5 packs too. If somebody just wants to buy a 5 pack to try them, see what they're like, you know, go
Yeah,
for it. Shipping's not worth it for a 5 pack because as ridiculous as it is, but it's still cheaper than a 10 pack. So,
yeah.
um, yeah,
AJW. Yeah, Brian, you're too old. No, you're not too old because you're younger than I am. No big. Hey, Lee. Good to see you.
I
And
know.
who else we got here?
I'm
Hey, Don.
44. I'm 44 with the body of like a 75-year-old anymore. Works all the years on concrete and machinery, it just destroys you.
Well, I have to say that much. We work one building has wooden floors in it that we made, and kept up. And then the other building over there is a cement floor. And I do have some machines that I work mats that are the rubber. But
Mhm.
let me tell you, you get to the point where you work out there on the darn cement floor all day long. It's three times strenuous on, you're tireder three times at the end of the day than you are when you're walking on floor or walking out in a hayfield or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I've had a couple of decades of doing 10 to 16 hour days. I might I have an office, but I might sit in my office 20 minutes a day, maybe. So yeah, I
mm,
just need my doctor loves me. He's like, you need to get a new profession. I'm like, I can't really get a new profession. I'm kind of tied into this. He's like, oh well, here's about 20 different things to take, and try not to blow anything out in the next few months. That's his best advice to me.
well, with your making that furniture and stuff, I'm sure you have quite a few people that work for you in your
Not
business.
not anymore. We've streamlined. We make everything for all of the businesses, all three product lines, including the office. There might be 15 of us max. Max. I mean,
15 people.
if we've kind of got it down pretty efficient. Everybody's cross trained. We just kind of work on things as we need to get things worked on.
And
That's
you're
part of why I'm doing.
sort
That's
of
part of why I'm
automated.
doing. So that's part of why I'm doing 16-hour days, because I don't have enough bodies to learn how to do things. Trying to get labor in our area, just even unskilled labor, prison labor, anybody just to come sit and press buttons on a press all day and pay them to sit in a chair in front of a fan and just do this. It's about
Really?
impossible
Huh.
for
I need
years.
a job like that.
I mean, I've gone through bodies like you wouldn't believe. It's nothing. When we get busy in the summer, it's nothing for me to go through 50 people in 3 months.
Mm.
Good grief. Yeah, and all that
It's
takes
it's
time away. When you're flipping them like that, it takes a lot of time.
yeah.
Phil,
Training
Yeah.
and
So it's like
you
everything else anymore. I guess beekeepers too. You don't see a whole lot of, I guess, middle age. You see either people that are younger getting into it, or people that are older and been doing it for a long time. That like 30s and 40s age range, it just doesn't exist for us anymore. Work wise. Um, like my kids, my boys, my oldest one, he's worked for us. Through school and everything, summers and vacations. So he's 18. He's off going to paramedic school, and he's ran welders and CNC routers and presses and stuff that he was not legally of age to do, because I knew if he got hurt he wouldn't sue me. So that's how I was raised too. And
Oh yeah, I think you get on the farm out there. You've been driving a tractor
yeah,
since you're 8 years old.
yeah. He's
yeah,
he got another job working somewhere, and all he did was complain about how lazy people his age are. And he's not the most get up and go kid, but he was just like, you wouldn't believe the stuff that people complain and gripe about and them asking you to do. And he's like, it's nothing. It's just, he's like, I don't understand what everybody's problem is. It's like, get used to that. That's the world. You know?
definitely the work ethics have changed since our days, for sure.
Well, I mean, I'll say this, and we'll get back into beekeeping. But I had to have my cousins were here today, and then I guess it would be his son was with him, and he worked for Black and Decker, and he was talking about people like my father and his grandfather, which was my father's nephew. They came in an era in the Great Depression, and they knew what it was that they didn't have any money at all. And you had to basically grow your own food and in order to eat. And today's people don't, they've never experienced that and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
and
And
that's normal life for some people.
some people, yeah. And I know that my cousin's grandfather or my father's nephew, he was a pharmacist. He just passed away here, but when he was young, he worked at that pharmacy that he now had owned, and he was there and during World War II, and he would probably be 16 or whatever while the pharmacist guy was eating supper, and the Western Union phone would ring. He was telling me, and it would say the War Department, and they would say so and so was killed in action and more to come, later on through the mail, I guess, at the time. And he says those men who were shot and killed over in World War II were actually the fathers of kids that he went to school with in elementary school, or I'll say high school, and he said, back then you sucked it up and kept on going. That was just the way life was. And people don't experience that today. They haven't experienced it yet. So anyway, let's get back to beekeeping here. Let's see. We got some different things here. Ian had a nice topic here. Yeah, Ian, that's the thing. They got farm background, and they're expected to work at a very young age, and it's something my father used to say. Well, you got to learn how to work, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's true. You have to learn. This is what you're expected to do, type of thing.
Hey, Charlie, I'm gonna get off of here and help these people out. That's what I'm here
All right.
for. So
All right.
I'll listen to you guys over in the background.
You're going to train them
Talk
how
to y'all later.
Start a fire with 2 sticks.
Yeah, so they're gonna train them how to put up with you like I had to do. That's all.
All right.
That's all I'm doing.
We'll see you later.
All right. Okay. Bye.
And then
Bye,
Brian,
Philip.
where folks had to grow food, half the U.S. would starve.
Yeah, they would.
That's true, Brian. And the thing of it is, when we had COVID, remember all them food lines? All these people driving these cars and they're looking for a free handout for food, and I'm like, why are they doing that? I was surprised. What do you mean? Don't you have any, food stocked up in your house, or, stuff like that? It just, it's quite a different world out there today. Anyway, all right. Anybody else wants to come on? But Michael, thanks for sending me that. I'm gonna, like I say, I'm gonna do a comparison video and put them in. I'm gonna put them in as brood frames on these 10 frame or these deeps.
You got me wanting one now, Charlie.
Huh? Is that right?
You got me wanting some.
Well, I just talked to Michael there. He go to his website and all that stuff.
Yeah, see my name on the screen there.
Yeah.
Just add a .com. Just add a .com after it, and that's my email.
I got you.
That's all right, Ian. I know what you're talking about. I agree with you.
What were y'all talking about before I came on and blew everything up?
I don't remember now. I don't know. People ask me that after I get off the show, and well, what did you talk about? I'm like, I don't know. We're just talking about everything. We were talking about grafting, I think is what it was. Mark here, he's what we call Western.
I'm in the center part of the United States, basically. I'm on the east side of the Mississippi, though.
Well, anyway, he's a grafter, and he works with Corey Stevens, has his Corey Stevens genetics and everything. So he does all. How's Todd out in California?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Looks like it's getting ready to rain out there.
It was overcast. It was overcast and humid here today. It was weird. But it's okay now. It's nice and cool and breezy.
Yeah.
Let me turn my camera around if I can. camera front. All right.
There you go.
Well, while you figuring that out, Todd, is that queen still alive?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's gonna get grafted, or I'll graft off of her next Saturday or next Wednesday.
Okay.
So
How's she looking?
she's
Is that
doing.
her?
Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. She's. I cut her kind of thin from the other colony the other place she was at. Um, I was hoping that she would build up more, and she really didn't. But she does have eggs in there, so I think I cut her population down a little too much for her to lay a lot. But she'll get
You
back
hurt
to
her
it.
feelings.
Yeah, I think so. Uh, well, I'll tell you what. See this dog right here? This is Oreo. This is the farm dog. She jumps in through these weeds when I came down here, and she jumped right on top of a ground squirrel and grabbed it and shook it like a rag doll for 5 minutes. And that was that. Oh, hang on. Let me get my gloves on because I don't want to get stung in the hands today. That never feels good on a Friday night.
What's the temperature out there, Todd?
Um, Today it got up to about 80. It's supposed to be in low 80s this weekend. It was 87 on Wednesday. Dang, I forgot my hive tool. All right, let's start right here. Let's see what these. Oh, shoot. There we go. So I'm starting to build back. That's 2 solid boxes of bees right there.
Lift
Um,
lift that top up. Just crack it open. The top box.
the the
Just crack
you want me
just
to
crack
lift
the
it off
top box. Yeah, so we can see.
off the bottom? All right. Man, it's hard to do this one handed.
Yeah.
Oh, now I got to get my hive tool because I won't
Just
be able
lift
to
up
crank
on it.
it. Well, it's glued down. I guarantee you. I didn't
You
mean to
probably hadn't
hijack your
had it
show,
up in a
Charlie.
while.
Last weekend I looked at it. It wasn't too bad. All right, let me get out of your way. You guys see
Oh
that?
yeah, she's good.
Yep, she's good. So all of them, I took a major hit right this year. Basically an 84% loss. That's why I have so many open spots right here.
Right.
So everything I have left is stout. So I'm just, and some of them, I took the queens away because they were huge. And see, this is 3 boxes though. I have an excluder on this. Oranges popped this week. So, all right, you ready, Mark?
What's that?
Mark,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop into her. This is the final one. The other one, I don't know what happened with it. I don't know. She's
She ain't much.
Yeah, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. 4 frames. Well,
So when you gonna try to
yeah,
graft?
4 frames. Well, 4 seams. Wednesday.
She done played out.
I'll look at her tomorrow. I don't want to start. She might.
Yeah.
But one of her daughters is down there. But I'm not going to
How's it
touch that
doing?
box for 2 more weeks.
Yeah, how's it doing?
Well, I'm not going to go through it. I split this. Oh, it was doing pretty good when I split it. Like I said, I split this one kind of thin. But see, I split them on March 21st, where I put her here, and the other box is that way. This is what I have nightmares about, are these damn weeds. I got to get the weed eater out of the shop tomorrow and do this at some point. Because, see, like, okay, here's a perfect example. There are no ants on this right now, but here's my ant trap. It's got oil in it, so they won't cross this barrier. But when I've got a weed, perfect ant ladder. And so, I mean, this place is a jungle. The tractor, the mower on the tractor broke down somehow. I don't know. They're trying to fix it, but I don't know. This is my builder. This is going to be my builder.
Good grief, that's
It's
gonna be a
got
lot
3
of bees.
boxes of brood. Yeah, it is. Oh, I'm going to make sure it's strong.
Yeah.
And then here's 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 that VSH, the other half of that queen. So we'll see what happens. I might have done myself in by cutting her too thin, but we'll see.
How far along are you gonna
We'll see.
graft? Do you know? How much longer is it gonna be before you're gonna graft?
I want to get. What do you mean? You mean the VSH?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Oh, there you are. Well, like I said, I'll start grafting her Wednesday, and oops, there's too many bees in there already. I'll start grafting on Wednesday, and I'll probably graft. I'm probably going to graft like 20 cells,
If you
and
could
then
find the right age larva, because there's not very many frames
correct,
there, you know.
correct, yeah,
Oh, if you're gonna do it, when did you say Wednesday?
on Wednesday,
Then
yeah.
have you got a good drawn cone, throw it right in the middle about 4 days before that and see if she'll lay
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that would be Sunday. I'll do that on Sunday.
That'll give you plenty of stuff to pick from that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
don't have very many frames in there, right? So,
Well, I've got
and
4
then
frames of bees.
give it, when you do that, give it a little liquid, give it some feed.
Yeah.
That
Oh
way it'll
yeah.
be really good and juicy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So all these aren't doing too bad. That one's kind of, I don't know if you could see that. That's a little weak. But anyway, um, like I said, I came out of winter with uh, 12 colonies out of 74, 84% loss.
Eh, that hurt.
But that was my
Dig,
fault. It's what Charlie ran into last year. Not refreshing the queens. I had all kinds of weather problems, and I know some of them, a lot of them might have been mites anyway. But I had a bad spring last year, and I just never did. I never did graft, and I let them ride. So
yeah.
I that's what I get. Oh,
You'd almost
um,
be better off to let them get to the point of swarming and just bust them up like that, you know, and use
well,
their
that's that's
stuff.
that's what I did. That that's what I did with some of these, what, 4 or 5 colonies out here. So um, yeah, we'll see what happens. Now this is interesting. So this box right here was just a single, and something was weird with it. It just wasn't growing along too much. So, well, first of all, they're carny, so they probably, obviously, are going to take their time. But when I went into that box last Saturday, and I saw 2 queens, and I thought, well, okay, let's see what we could do with this. So I put a divider board in here, a double screen divider board, and the older queen is down here, and the younger queen's up here. So we'll see who works out the best, and then the other one gets the hive tool test. No, we'll see. Just an experiment I'm going to try. I usually don't do that. I usually kill the older looking queen.
Yeah.
So they're both laying.
But you're getting more brood that way, I would think, the way
Yeah,
you're doing it.
that's yeah.
Because you got two queens laying.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. So I've got 19 out here now, or 20. Um, and that first round is going to be um, well, whatever 20 gets me, whatever out of the 20, whatever they come back. I should have enough brood out of these other boxes. They're all doubles right now. I don't have any singles except for these two. Um, this one right here is really kicking it, so hopefully she's a producer. And uh, whatever comes back out of the 20 that I graft, I'll just start some nukes and then go from there.
there you
I
go.
think I'm I think I'm only going to go back to about 50 or 60 colonies for right now. I'm not gonna go overboard this time.
That can be a full-time job if you work it hard enough.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
That's about what I got 65 now. But if you're selling sales,
Yeah, yeah.
virgins, mated queens, honey, so it'll work you sure.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. I know.
Just depends on how hard
And
you
I've
want to
got
work it.
swarm traps set up. Oh, yeah. This dog, I don't know if you can see her. She's way back there on top of that blue thing. There's a big, huge ground squirrel, and she knows it's there. She's just waiting. She's waiting for a chance to go unalive it. Oh man. Well, I'm sorry, Charlie. I took up all your show.
Oh, that's all right. I enjoy watching your apiary.
Interesting.
And what you're
Interesting.
doing. I mean, Mark tried to do that, but he lost signal on that. You have to
Oh,
put those antennas out on the side of the house there, Mark.
I'm wondering how to fix that. I'm wanting to get me like a Wi-Fi system out here in my shop.
Well,
well, there you go.
Can I just
you
use
get,
the same thing?
yeah, I think you get a box with those ear antennas that do all that stuff.
You know who would
Oh,
know the answer? You know who would know the answer to that is JW.
JW. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd know the answer to that. He's the tech guy.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
I'll tell you who the tech guys is Lee there. He's
Yeah,
leaving us right now, getting ready to leave, but Lee would be able to want to tell you how to do all that.
yeah, yeah.
Well, have you got Wi-Fi throughout that big building you got, Charlie? Do you have
No,
Wi-Fi all through there? You don't?
I only got internet service here at the house.
Right.
Hmm.
But yeah, when it comes to that, I mean, like our credit card machine, it goes through the phone lines. Lob said, "Well, don't
Say
you
we've
just
got
hook up the internet?" I says, "No, we ain't got no internet out here. Don't need it."
Yeah.
we've got Wi-Fi all throughout our plant. We just have to put signal boosters every so far. So we've got the main Wi-Fi unit in a closet in the office, but I can get Wi-Fi on the both far ends of the building. You just got to put up enough boosters to like bounce your signal on down. So you
Now,
might be able to.
is that wireless, Michael, from one
Are they
booster to
wireless?
the next?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh oh no, they're not actually. The
No.
the boosters themselves are wired in. Now, like at my house, depending on how close your shop is and how many walls you go through, I've got Wi-Fi boosters that just plug into a receptacle in the wall. They wirelessly balance and the receptacle powers them. But depending on how thick of walls and all you're going through, I don't know if it'd be strong enough. But it's a way you might be able to get around. I know when I'm outside on my lawnmower, when I'm mowing the grass, I can connect to the different bouncers that are inside my house.
Now, Brian says you can use boosters,
Yeah,
set up a decent mesh network, which I'm not sure what a mesh network is, but
I just want to be able to hang something on my chicken house out here and pick up all the way around my yard and in my shop too. So, and I've got electricity out there in the chicken house.
He says Mark, it's a Wi-Fi extender.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Anyway, well, all right. Well, that's good. We can do that. That way you can. I know the one year you picked up them frames of about what 40 cells on a frame, and
Well, that's
right,
what I was going to see if I could get
yeah,
over there to do it, you know, but
yeah. If you can get that done, because it's impressive. As far as the amount of bees in your cell builder and stuff like that, gives everybody an idea what it really takes.
yeah, it's cold today though, and cloudy and windy.
Oh, it's raw out there today. I
Yeah,
mean, that air's damp and all that stuff. And
yeah, I'm
Man,
not going to open them up because I just done them Tuesday, and I don't want them to get chilled at all, you know. So
it was sunny and 84 here today.
84. Where are you from, Michael?
Arkansas. We're over by Fort Smith.
Oh, cool. I was there. I'm there every Monday. Uh, I know you heard of famous chili.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I pick up there. We sell their chili.
Oh okay. Yeah, you can probably hop over there in about. We're actually in Van Buren. Maybe 10, 12 minutes. You could be over there.
Yeah, yep.
Now,
I deliver there at Clarksville at Walmart every week, so
Mm.
I
Matt,
know that area pretty good.
yeah, Matt, he's up there around. Uh, I forget what he's around Detroit or Chicago. Anyway, he's got. Should he be worried about starvation because of the cold weather and no flying days? It kind of depends on how much honey you got inside your hives, Matt,
Yeah, and how
and
dry they really are.
that kind of thing.
Who is that?
Matt Morris.
If you got some
Um,
fondant, just throw some fondant or something on them, just a small piece if you think
yeah,
they're getting hungry.
I'm trying to look him up here. Um, there we are. Matt, he's over in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, I would say that, Matt. If you're concerned, go out there, put some fondant on there, and they should have enough to do that.
Ain't gonna hurt nothing.
So, and Matt. So, anyway, well, I see Ian
I'm
on here, and I know he's got his hives.
Mm.
Uh, um, he's got all the hives setting outside now. Oh, he's got his barn opened up. That's good. Hey, Ryan. And I was watching the conversation there. He's decided not to put any pollen patties on due to the economic situation. And I haven't seen, I know he had some issues with these nukes. He lost about quite a bit of those from the one video. And so everybody seems to have, I'll say, issues right now. It's like some of the trees there at Todd's place are starting to bloom.
Is that
What are that?
oranges?
They
What is that?
finally opened up. Oranges. Yeah, oranges. Valencias. There's some oranges that are still on the tree that they never got to grab, but they're can't put them to market because they're like the size of softballs. So
They're good for your house.
I'm gonna go check. Huh?
Aren't they good for your
What's that?
house? Aren't they good for your house?
Oh yeah, yeah. But you know what? When they get that big, they're not as sweet, and they're really, well, at least these are tough. They start getting tough.
Yeah.
They're not they're not soft inside. But I have one more swarm trap to look at. So, but I got to walk into the sun, and the sun's getting low, so I'm going to turn the camera off. But when I get there, I'll show you what it is.
Okay.
Uh,
There you go. Mute yourself. There we go. Hey, Mike, back.
Hey. Yeah, hey, I think I'm gonna have to get off. My Wi-Fi's getting all funky, and usually that happens when my youngest kid gets into a really heavy gaming
Mhm.
match. So instead of fighting with this thing, I'm just gonna get off of here and stop messing with
Well,
y'all's.
well, thanks for
Food.
sending me out them frames. And like I say, I'm gonna definitely maybe this Sunday. I don't know. It depends on the weather. 'Cause I know Monday for sure will be in the 70s. So
Mm,
it might. I'm gonna try to. I got to get some bee work done while the getting's good.
yeah.
Because I might be getting a phone call here pretty soon to go to Georgia to get a truckload of bees or help get a truckload of bees. So all that. So well, thank you very much, and we'll see you next week, I guess. Or maybe
Yeah.
Monday night.
Yeah, maybe Monday. I gotta take my wife to Memphis tomorrow. So
Okay.
next week, I think I'm gonna be somewhere. I don't know. I'll catch y'all sometime soon, though.
We'll catch up with you later on. Thanks,
All right.
Mike.
Y'all have a good one.
bye,
Righto.
Mike.
See ya.
Bye.
What's
Well,
Todd?
I got some bees. They moved. Well, I let me see how many bees I get. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh jeez. Can you see that?
Yeah, it ain't long. We're just gonna need another box.
I better move in tomorrow. I don't know how long they've been here. Well, at least since Tuesday. No, they weren't here Tuesday. So probably Wednesday. And then when I was walking over here, she treed a squirrel. And so she's going to sit there and wait for that damn thing to come out of the tree. This dog. When
Isn't
she
that
wants
one of
to
them?
get the.
That one a Aussie dog or something like that?
Well, her mom was a pure Australian cattle dog. Pure.
Yeah, the Aussie dog.
Short,
Yeah.
a short coat. But this one has got white Pyrenees mixed in her. That's why she has long coat. But you could tell she's got the markings from her mom. But her mom was an excellent squirrel dog. We've well, I'll show you. I mean, the peach trees took a hit this year. These squirrels are everywhere, and what they do is they'll get into the root ball and then just destroy the tree.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I never thought a
Uh
squirrel did that.
I'd be
huh.
having some squirrel and dumplings.
And this is an organic farm, so there's only so many things he wants to do. Well, right now, here's one right here. You
Yeah,
see that hole?
yeah.
And that's what they do. And so that tree's dead. Those two trees are dead. That tree's dead. Uh, I mean, there's probably 10 or 12 peach trees that are wasted because of the squirrels. And now, never had a problem with them getting into the oranges, but now they're getting into the oranges. Look at that thing. I mean,
You sure them are squirrels and not
yep.
gophers?
Nope, they're squirrels. Look at that.
Wow.
These are squirrels, and this is what they do. Like they're eating the oranges now, and they'll peel it open and just start chowing down. And like this, they'll eat the whole thing. The only thing that's left is the skin. And now they're in the oranges.
Why are they getting
So
under the tree though?
I it's something to do with the root system. They chew on the wood or the root. I guess it must have a sweet taste or something. I don't know. But they're thick. It's the second biggest population on this farm. The first is ants, and then it's ground squirrels. I mean, look at this. This is it's a mini pumpkin, but they ate that thing and
That's
hollowed
what the
out that
ants
one.
are. What the squirrels
No.
don't get, the ants do.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's everywhere.
I
don't
always
think
thought the squirrel
you
was
can see.
lived up in a tree.
Well, ground squirrels don't, but regular squirrels do.
I guess I
They're everywhere.
I guess I don't really know what a ground. I'd have to look at what a ground squirrel looks like. Yeah, Brian C. So the ground squirrels are different than a tree squirrel. Okay, I do know. We were sitting in the woods one day, and me and my father, we were cutting logs, and we actually were eating lunch, and we actually seen a flying squirrel go across from one tree to the next. We thought
We
that
A
used
was
to catch
flying
them when we
squirrel?
was kids and play with them. We
really.
we go through the woods and you find an old dead snag about big around as your thigh and push it
Huh.
over and it'd be hollow up at the top and they'll come flying out of there when you pushed it down. We catch them.
Yeah, I didn't. I never seen one.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Dodd says we call that
Oh, yeah,
around
they're
here. We
they're
call that a
destructive.
chipmunk, and we call that a chipmunk. I,
Well, they're not chipmunks over here. They're nuisances.
they look like a groundhog squirrel.
I've got oh, they're destructive to say the least.
Does that make
They've
them
see all
more
these
organic?
trees right here. Hmm. What's
Does that
that?
make Brian wants to know whether that makes them an organic squirrel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Depends on if you
Well,
buy it
I
at the
guess
grocery
you.
store or slaughter it yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Now, see, all of these are figs, but this row just got decimated. That row got decimated. The next row got decimated. The big trees over there, they're older, more established, but there's squirrels all over them. These are obviously younger trees, but they'll they'll uh, they'll eventually get over here and dig
Sound
in
like
the.
sound like time for the shotgun.
Well,
Yeah, big time.
there's there's neighbors, and there's
Oh, that's
horses and
right. You do
A
live in
cats.
pellet gun will
California.
work. All you need is a
Pellet.
pellet
Well,
gun.
that's the guy, the shop guy out here. He's got a pellet gun and he's been doing target practice.
Turn a bunch of them dogs loose too. That'd help.
Well, we only have one.
You need about 10 of them out there at
Ah,
once. Get rid of all of them.
yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I agree. Well, I
Yeah,
think that's it. I think that's it for me, Charlie. I'm gonna go home and eat. I'm hungry.
you're always eating.
Well, it's because it's dinner time over here when you guys when you guys jump on.
I'm going on 2 weeks vacation, Todd.
Where are you going?
Right
Nowhere?
here in the yard. I ain't going nowhere. I do
You have
that
a
for a
lot of yard.
living.
Yeah. You have a lot of yard work or just bee work.
Well, grass ain't really growing that much. Really, it will though as soon as the sun pops out and gets warm because we've had a lot of
Yeah.
rain.
Oh, yeah. Well, I I think our rain is done. I think we only got about 7 inches this year, so I think that's all we're
I've
going to be able to get.
I've already had 32.
So Todd,
Jeez. Yes, sir.
are we going to have squirrel tonight for supper?
Uh, if it was tree squirrel, yeah, but ground squirrel, probably not. They're tough, I heard,
I don't know.
and they're not very tasty.
Build you a fire, put him on a stick, and try
I'm not that hungry.
it.
Uh, you know, that damn dog. She She left her buddy over here. It was a big squirrel too. I mean, a big one.
Let's see what this thing looks like.
Well, oh, there it is.
Right. Get close.
Ah, that looks like a no. That's a ground squirrel.
Where's it at? I ain't seen it yet.
Right there. Right
Where?
there. Right
Where?
there. He's sleeping. Right there. You
Yeah,
see him?
sort of. Yeah, kind of. Pick him up and take a look at him.
Yeah, right.
No, I ain't picking him up. He's probably got ticks all over the place. He's taking a nap.
Dirt nap.
I'll let the crows get that. The dirt nap, yeah. He's eating a dirt sandwich. Must be dinner time. I hope you don't get a nasty YouTube notice like Joey did. I just thought of that.
I didn't see anything at Harley.
Yeah, there were nothing there. It was just a bunch of weeds. I was trying to fake you out.
Yeah.
Well, that's one less problem we got around here. But there's about 3,000 more of them. Oh well. All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm gonna get down the road.
All right, Todd. Be careful.
All right. Oh yes, I will. All right. I'll talk at you guys later.
All right. See you later, Todd. Thanks for coming on.
Okay. Bye bye.
See you now.
Bye.
All right.
I'm hanging in there, Charlie.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, there he goes. But anyway, so you're getting ready to graft, I think, right, Mark? Or did you do something?
Now I've been grafting for 3 weeks.
Really?
This will be the third. I think I don't remember.
So
I've
is your
got
weather, your weather warm enough to do all that?
my builders are pretty good size. We've had some below freezing nights, but I still done okay. I didn't do great, you know.
Well, I was talking to a guy here just before my show, and he's north of me about 2.5 hours in Pennsylvania, and he grafted, I think, 30 cells. Now he does have insulated hives, and he does quite well grafting, and he got 20 out of 30. And we've had, like you said, some of them 32-degree nights, and
Yeah.
he did it while it was raining, and it was like 50 some to 55 degrees, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't even think about doing it. But
Well,
he did get,
it's
like you say, he did get 20 out of 30, which I thought it was really good.
that's
But
real
then
good.
my
Yeah.
because of the environment, but my concern is I looked out here 2 weeks ago, I'll say, and yeah, my drone frames are totally capped, and they're probably hatching now. But he might have 20 cells there, but I don't foresee a whole lot of drones, right? Right age drones for mating purposes. I have seen some drones walking on the frames, but I haven't seen any. Of course, nothing's been flying this week.
Yeah.
Been
My
either.
first one, the only reason why I did it is because I think the week before I killed her, was going through the colony, and then I went back out there in another week, and it's like, oh, something's wrong. I knew right then they were making a sale. So I just took and tore down the cells and made it a cell builder. I knew it was early, but I did 40. I think I got 32. And then I brought them in here, and I had trouble with my incubator. It wouldn't recover fast enough. When I'd open the lid up, it was like it didn't want to recover because it was cold out here, and it just wasn't heating up good.
Right.
And I only had 12 of them 32 to hatch. So, and I hatched the rest of them out, and they were immature. So I think I had problems with my incubators. What happened? But the
Oh, do you
12 that
have
I,
your incubator? Is that one of those egg incubators?
yeah, and it's about, this is probably the third or fourth season on it. So I got another one, and that last day I think they were in the incubator, I ran it and it stayed consistent, good, and I did get 12 out of it, but the other ones they were just too undeveloped, you know. And I had to go. It was Sunday, so I had to go to work at midnight. So I just took them and left them in the roller cages, and it was almost dark then, and throwed them on top of a builder. And I checked them Wednesday; they were kicking, doing good. So I'm hoping they'll still be
So
alive.
basically, you would say you banked them.
I banked them on top of one of them big old builders. That's
Yeah,
all
I
I
was going to
did.
say, but I mean, you left them in there as you're banking them.
Yeah.
I've never banked anything like that. Now
Well,
they're
I didn't have time to put no attendants in them, and
yeah,
I didn't want to put them in JZBZ cages. So I just left them in the rollers, put the lids on the roller, and tossed them in there. That's all I did, and they take care of them.
hmm so they're you just laid them in, or you don't have a frame or anything for them, do you?
I've got 2-inch shim across there where I feed a patty to them, and just
Right.
throw them up on top of the frames. That's all I did.
Well,
Now, I'm not gonna keep them there forever. Don't get me wrong,
well,
but
no, because I mean, what is about a week or so when it comes to banking a virgin? You know, they
well,
got to
they
get
they
out and
mature at 7 days, so I mean, normally when they artificial inseminate them, they've got to be mature, so they keep them that long. And I'm gonna say you could probably get by with a couple of weeks. I wouldn't. I mean, it's not ideal, right? But I
right,
think you'd be all right. I need to do a test on that and video it.
right.
Just
Now,
leave some in for a week and then put them out there, get them mated. Leave some in for 2 weeks, put them in there, get them mated. Leave some for 3 weeks, and that would answer our question, wouldn't it?
yeah, because I've heard studies say about that where the longer they stay banked at a virgin, their I guess their ovaries undeveloped. They don't develop properly.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Mike or I mean Brian wants to know how many colonies am I going to demaree? I got 16 honey hives out there, honey production hives. I'll demaree all of them, but um, I'm looking for I mean, population, like I said earlier on today or tonight, is good, but I don't see a lot of brood frames in there, and I presume from what people have told me over here is a lot of that is possibly due to uh, the cold weather we've had, and maybe the bees are cannibalizing some of the brood. I'm not sure. My concern is do I have the same situation I had last year where I had a bunch of queens, even though they're only 1 year old to the month? Are they, you know, going off the deep end and being just, wearing out? I don't know.
You never know. Depends on how good they got bred.
True. I got
I
one out there that it wasn't worth it. I mean, she's only a 1 year old queen, but she's no good.
yeah.
I can tell that for sure. Um,
I would say
I've
that would
got
have an
about,
effect.
I forget how many hives I got out there Demaree. I'm going to say there's at least 4 to 6 out there that are Demaree right now. They had the right kind of population that I had. That's why I did them. Um, Last year, it's one of them situations where if you're growing that hive, or like I've got 4 hives that I'm transitioning to mediums, I won't have to demaree them hives because I'm giving them space to lay more eggs, and I'm pulling those deep boxes out and stuff like that. And um, I'm kind of working with them, building them into a different style of hive. And like I say, the cold weather, that's the big thing.
Yeah. So we pulled, what was it, 90 something? 108. That's what it was. We pulled 108 Tuesday. And time I got done culling, now take in mind I'm teaching Dwayne too. Okay, so some of them are his. He did like 4 bars, right?
You did
So
108 graftings or
we
oh,
pulled that many. We did 160, but we only got 108. Now, okay, he did 4 bars, so you got to take that in consideration. He's learning, you know, and out of that 160 that we did, we got 108, and then by the time I culled all of them, we only wound up with 87. So, and they were sold. So
right,
this time we put in right at 200,
right.
and he's getting better, you know. So
Yeah. Brian says to I ever considered a 2 queen hive and then get a queen mated up top and then let her go. You know, Brian, that's a good idea. I know I've got some double screen boards here, and that's a really good idea.
mm,
You know, that's kind of I could actually pull some brood up. I could either do grafting or pull some brood up there and let them make their own cells. And actually, the Demaree hives, if they will make, if you leave them long enough, they will make their own cells. I got one hive out there that I want to graft off of, and maybe I'll when they maybe take a hive or maybe take a frame of brood up there and let them make their own cells up there. That would kind of that would work for me because I got some nukes there I could possibly split because I need to rebuild my nuke population back up. Right
when
now,
you do a Demaree, don't you get several cells at the top? You wouldn't have to worry about
not right
grafting.
now. During the summer when it gets warmer, yeah, if there's some little, if they can find the right age larvae, I could actually bring maybe a frame upstairs and
Yeah,
let
put it
them
on the
let them
one you
do
want to
that.
graft from, and there you go.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thanks, Brian. And yeah, that would work quite well. Yeah, I don't need an emery shim. What I actually do is I have a double screen board. It actually acts like a um, let's see, would you do a double screen board or not? No, because you need the nurse bees to come up there.
I wonder how Brian's experiment come out. Did you ever find out where he
What's
was
that?
going to try to graft up there on top of the Demaree or something?
I don't know, Brian. Did,
Brian C. Remember?
oh, Brian C. down in Memphis.
I, he was going to put a graft up on top there. Remember that?
Yeah.
I wonder how that turned out.
Brian C. says he had his best take.
Cool. I know we had an insulated hive there.
Yeah, 28 out of 30 cells or 30 grafts, I guess.
Good.
Not bad at all.
So it worked.
What was he going to try to do?
Seemed like to me he was going to put a graft on top of a Demaree, I believe it was. I don't remember for sure.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
Just curious how that turned out.
Yeah, I could actually. Yeah, Doug said, either put on the good nectar flow or thin syrup will kick a queening high gear.
Yeah, if she's got a high gear.
And all that's. All right, Brian. See, I put a grafted frame in the top of the something at Senate after a few days. Not sure just what that means. Hey, Mike.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. He missed. He says He put a grafted frame in the top of the Demaree after a few days. Okay.
And it turned out the best he's done so far.
Yeah, 28 out of 30.
How good of sales were they? Were they good sales?
Were they good sells, Brian? Hey, Brian, if you can and you got a camera, come on in. We can talk about this. This is quite interesting.
It
And
is
then
interesting.
Tom and Melissa said about explaining the Demaree. Um, yeah, I can give a real quick definition or explanation of that. Uh, Mine is a rolling Demaree. I do have a video on it now, and basically you use I'll say a single brood chamber management where you pull out all the cap brood frames out of the bottom, put in open comb in the bottom, queen excluder, a honey super, and then you put another brood box up on top, put all that cap brood in the top end of that, on the top of that hive, and then the nurse bees will come from the bottom up through the queen excluder, through the honey super, and cover all that brood to keep it warm, and uh, it will let them hatch. And the purpose of all that is two, they will not swarm because the queen has plenty of place to lay eggs. That's the key that's what triggers swarming that I've learned. If she runs out of a place to lay eggs, they will start queen cells, swarm cells. And the other part of it is they the extra brood up top the hive will get bigger and they'll actually make more honey, about 50 or 60%. Now Todd out there has paid $4.69 for gas. Oh, he filled my truck up with. You must have. What did you buy? 1 gallon out there, Todd. Brian C said they look like good cells. They all got dropped in my split, so four of them are laying and marked blue. Still need to check the rest. So sound like to me they're doing quite well.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, that's everybody's worried about getting the cell builder set up and stuff. Yeah, I would say, Todd, those prices, because I just bought gas here. Well, the gas across the road from me is $3.29, and I think that's pretty high and all that. What are you doing? Brushing queen or excluders?
Yeah, and it's kind of knocking the high stuff off of them.
Yeah, I found that putting them in a what do you call it? A solar wax melter. Boy, that just takes the work right out of it.
I didn't take time to do that, Charlie. Should have.
Them metal cleaning scooters like that will fit in there. And make sure you wear some leather gloves because it'll get hot to where you can hardly hold on to them.
Yeah.
And that stuff will melt off in there. If it's a hot day, like 95 degrees with bright sun, they'll melt off in 3 or 4 hours. You can get two of them done in a day. If it's a little
I,
overcast or whatever, not quite as hot, it'll take
yeah.
you all day for one. But I'd be
I,
be sitting there um, trying to heat them, brush them, and all that other stuff.
yeah. I just figured I'd knock out a few. I've got a kettle out there, one of them great
Yeah.
big cast iron kettles,
Mhm.
and I'll build a fire under it.
Well, Nancy told me that one about a year ago. She was the one that clued me in on that screen. Oh, the solar wax melter.
How many can you get in there?
I only get one in mine. It's just big enough to do that.
Yeah.
And three boy bees. It's $2.49 in this morning in Tennessee, North Georgia. That's really good price, I think. So, but anyway, no, interesting that, um, like you say, bring that brood above that queen excluder and let them. They'll start making queen cells up there, and then if anything, well, I've had them actually hatch up there if I don't watch it. I could actually keep that if there's enough population there, and then bees are going to start hatching. I could temporarily put a brood or temporarily put a double screen in there, and then switch them over to a nuke. And that all depends on the darn. Well, I could switch them over to a nuke without the double screen in there if the weather is decently warm outside. Todd's running a lunar wax melter. Yeah, well, did you buy that from Robert, Todd, and all that? No. And that's funny. What
I've
Mark?
got an old mirror out there from a dresser drawer.
Yeah.
It's got two mirrors that fold, one big one and then two that comes like that, right? Couldn't I make me a melter out of that somehow?
As long as you can focus the sunlight from that mirror down on there, yeah.
Well, I'll think about doing that next year when I got some heat.
Yeah. But that's what I do. I put it in that soda wax melter there and it'll melt that stuff right off.
Yeah, that would be handy.
And you get some wax out of it too. I mean, there's
Yeah,
a lot of sludge. And the thing, what I did was, mine's made with like a metal pan in there that comes down to like a V, and there's an open area about, I don't know, 2 inches, 3 inches wide. You put in half-inch hardware cloth, and then lay yourself one sheet of just cheap paper towel, let's say from Walmart or whatever. Lay that in there, and that's one of the best darn filters you ever did see.
yeah,
It'll that wax comes through that paper towel. It'll hold up all that slum gum, and then I have a piece of Tupperware plastic tub filled up with a little about maybe an inch worth of water in there, and it'll drip off into that water, and then it'll harden up, and then I remelt it in one of them electric pots that Man Lake sold.
am I loud?
Oh, you're right.
Mm.
Matt here, Matt Morris, made 3 nuke boxes over the winter, and there comes JW. And JW, you got what do you got there? Wheat shocks there?
Oats.
Oat shocks? Is that your field?
Yeah, I got, let me shut off the. Okay, I just popped on Charlie for a minute to say how I didn't give a public shout out to Tom and Melissa. They came to my place today. We went
Yeah.
top to bottom through 32 hives at my place, completely top to bottom. Broke everything down, got everything in really, really good shape. They got here at 10:30. They left my place here about 7:30. So
So
we're
how
all
many hives did you get through?
32.
32 of them.
Yep.
And did you make splits
Yeah,
or were they,
whatever needed done is what we done. Some of them we split, some of them wasn't quite. A lot of them I put broke them down and put them a queen excluder and added some supers to them. Broke them down. Some of them was really really stout. Uh, I think Tom ended up. They're listening to me. I've loaded up with pain medicine, Tom. My whole back about petered out on us today.
I
I,
bet.
but we had a good day, and I wanted to give them a public shout out, which I shouldn't do because they was really a big help to me. We got
Well,
through 32 hives, and I think Tom got maybe enough resources for maybe 10 or 12 nukes out of the deal. So,
what's that for brood
yeah,
resources?
yeah, he pulled brood for nukes.
So he pulled some brood out of your hives,
Yeah,
and then he set them up for honey production for you with
yeah,
queen.
well, yep. Help me set up for honey or whatever. I'm going to have some queens on some of my stuff. Looks like they're getting, like yours, are getting a little weak this year. This will be their third. This will be the third production season. I'm going
Third season, yeah, they're pretty much done.
like I said, I'm wore completely out. I just got on here. I seen you made Mark mad, and he quit you and went to scraping frames there. So I thought
He's
I'd
up there
take his
scraping
place.
frames. So is those shocks of oats there? Is that your farm
Well,
or some?
no, that's some obvious buddies of mine. They're a crew. See, that's them. If you blowed that up a little bit, if you could, that's their horses coming across the field with the old fashioned binder.
Oh yeah, I see them down there now. What they got a binder?
Yeah, I took that. I don't know a couple summers ago. They're good guys. They're a couple Amish bachelors, both of them in their 30s, and they're good boys. So
Yeah, the ones here in the shock. I guess they kind of make a cap or something like that to make the water run off.
yeah, that's the cap there on it. You look there, it'd be the, over my left shoulder there.
Yeah.
Some that they got stacked, and one brother does is it runs the binder, and the other goes behind him, and them binders just throws out them and binds them up, and I don't know. Package about maybe a foot across where they tie them together, and then he takes him and stacks him up like that's where they'll stand the weather.
Now, I presume they kind of cut that green and then they let it dry.
No, that's pretty well dried up when they cut it there. That green you see, just undergrowth, that's coming underneath.
Yeah, it's just some weeds growing up in the
Yeah,
bottom end of it.
yeah, yeah.
But and I guess they come back with the darn wagon and take it over to the thrash machine inside the.
Yeah, they actually. I've got some pictures. I'll stick on one of my backup videos or backup chats of them actually thrashing. The two brothers, they've got a thrash machine. Now one unloads and throws it through it, and they got that thrashing machine hooked up to a square baler directly, and they'll run it through that thrash machine, and the straw comes out of that thrash machine. They run it through that baler and bale it all in one operation. They're
Well,
great.
something. Let me pop you back down. I went up to the steam show and they had a uh, thrash machine there, like you said, and it put the straw over on this machine. And basically, it was kind of like an elevator type of thing. It was a transfer elevator over to the old stationary baler,
Yeah,
and then they would bale the straw.
yeah.
And I'm gonna say this is back when my dad was still alive. We were at the show, and he said, he says his father thought about buying that little transfer elevator,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say back then it was $300, which was like
Sure.
three or four
Like
thousand,
30,000 now. Yep.
and he was like, "Oh, we can't afford that," and so it was same thing that you're talking about. But then on the other hand, I look at it to where what he did there with the that their binder and all.
Yeah.
Like he could take his darn combine and just go on down through there and
Oh,
have
sure.
it
Oh,
have
yeah.
it all done. And I think the
Yeah.
Amish guy could be cheaper to just to hire somebody combine his wheat for him.
Well, them boys, I talked to him. Well, in fact, I sent him yesterday. I get ear corn off of my wife feeds the squirrels, in her backyard, and I went down there and got some. And I think that head, that cutting head on that binder is like 5 foot wide.
Yeah.
It's.
Yeah.
But they actually enjoy working with those horses. They do a lot of in the wintertime. They do a lot of timber. Cut a lot of timber and sell it for people, and they'll go in there with them horses. They cut a patch of timber for me here 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't want them big timber jacks and stuff in there. What they didn't cut, they run. So I got them to go in there with their horses, and it was quite. All my white oak was dying with them. Got them.
Your dog's outside.
Okay, got them. Uh, Grubs in them. They's all dying, and I cut them
Right.
going. I'd have never cut them. I'm a timber lover. I'd have never cut them if it hadn't been for they were all dying. I hate to see them just go to waste. You can come back in here, Martin, or I'm friendly now.
It's break time, JW. I done enough. At least
Yeah,
I did something, right?
yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. I seen your chat there with Matt? Is he coming down tonight?
I don't know. I hadn't heard from him this evening, so
Well, there's a chat on
we.
there. I think he made a chat to you. He'd be there by 7:30. I didn't know if he meant in the morning or if he was coming right away or.
I don't know. I can't see the chat. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay, Matt round bottom. Okay, well,
Thumb it back down and read it. Maybe he's coming.
I, uh, I,
I can sure
I'm
use
looking
the
for
help.
it. I'm looking for it. I don't know. I'll come up with it or not. But it was, it was. Oh, he made a chat earlier that he understood it right. I'm not trying to. Had you talked to him about him coming down this weekend? Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll bet he's on his way. Mark, I should be to you by 7:30. Look forward to working some bees with you, sir. That was at 9:10 our time here. Well, you're on the same time we're at. So,
7 o'clock
and
tomorrow.
there's a post earlier. Let me see what he
Wait,
said earlier
don't
about.
show up. Don't show up too early, 'cause it's gonna be cold.
I think he's probably planning on maybe driving down your way and then getting a room or something. I don't know that. I didn't know he was coming. We talked about, I was kind of thinking about meeting him someplace and coming to get together, but like I said, Tom and Melissa come out and helped me all day today. We went through 32 hives, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Absolutely, completely. I had some queens that I didn't get marked, and we got them. They got them all found for me and marked for me, and so I'm in good shape again.
Well, I ain't been able to split JWs. It rained all week last week.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I got to get a lot of splits done.
yeah. I've got everything, and Tom was needing a little leading some brood to make his nukes up with. Where he was. Lester said he wasn't going to be, but he thought he might be short. So I told him to come out and get what he could. I think he got enough for 10 or 12, nukes and resources out of my hives.
Yeah. Did you drop drawn cone or fresh foundation in there?
Both.
Both.
Most of it was drawn. I've got a bunch of. I've got a too much. I actually got too much drawn comb for my.
I can't keep enough drawn cone. I don't work at it hard enough, I guess.
Yeah, well, I cut down from 57 hives last year. I sold off 20 hives, but I've only got them. I was down to 31, and with her actually split out and dividing and combining and everything that we done today, I ended up with. They went out here. We went through 32 total hives. So I can't see that other one offhand. I'll scroll back down through here from Matt to you. Uh, you made two
When you gonna put
earlier.
your honey supers on there, JW?
I
I
think
did a few of
it,
them. I
Did
did,
you?
yeah, I did a few of them today. Put excluders on them, and I didn't want to have to go back in them for a couple of weeks, and they're good and stout. So,
Well, that'll give them time to clean them up too.
yeah, yeah. So I put probably I don't know exactly number wise. I'm gonna say maybe 10 or 12 out of the 32. I put supers. Went ahead and put supers on them.
now, Matt.
I'm gonna step aside here and let my
The,
dog in. I'll be right back.
uh, he's going to text, I guess, JW in a little bit. He's driving right now and wants to meet up to Mark if possible.
No, where's your other? Here.
So I guess JW and him, I guess, want to come. I think they live close to each other,
You can get it in the morning. It ain't supposed to rain.
and
He's
then
got his
come
leg
down
in the
there to
house
your
already.
place.
Yeah, if I carried over, I was talking to my dog and my wife at the same time. So,
I need some muscle.
sir?
All the more muscle, the better, right?
Yeah.
I still
I
got
tell you,
boxes in here that's got to go out there on pallets to get up the tractor under them to get everything staged.
mhm. Yeah, I've got on all my hives on individual hive stands. So, but I've
Did
got
you
a,
did you hear me, JW? Matt's going to text you in a little bit.
oh, okay, that'd be fine.
He wants to get with you and go down with you to see Mark.
Oh, okay.
He's
All right.
driving right. He's driving right now.
All right.
He'll be home a little bit.
Okay, well, maybe I misunderstood him, but I hadn't, did he put that on the chat or did he give you a private?
No, he did it on the chat.
Yeah, I
He
hadn't
he
seen it.
came and chatted while you went out.
Okay, I was scrolling back up through here looking for what he had
Mm,
texted Mark, so maybe we get it straightened up here, Mark, while we're still on here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty well. I come home, took a bunch of pain pills, so I'm getting about half goofy.
I
they
wished I had one.
they
My
tell me
back's killing me.
my old back give out on me about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I was then I had a doggone bee got inside my veil.
Mm,
Melissa, I think she about Peter Pants laughing at me. I got a bee inside, and that sucker tried to go in my canal on my ear. And I said, "Get over here, Melissa, get this thing out of my ear." And before she got him out, he stung me in in my right ear. So,
mm,
but I'm used to getting stung. I don't. I'm stupid. I don't wear gloves or anything. And them bees, after you go through about 30 hives, they're getting a little bit irate. It was getting late in the day, and they was getting a little bit irate.
yeah. Yeah. Shaking them off in there and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We had the air full of bees and shaking them, and I was trying to put everything back together with no gloves on and stuff, and they was tearing my hands up. And after you get enough that pheromone on them, I actually changed the bee jackets. I thought I could smell myself. I told Tom, I said, I'm getting to the point I smell like lemonade. So I changed my bee jacket. I had so much.
you guys must have better sense than I do. I don't smell any of that stuff.
Yeah,
They
I
talk
can
about
smell it.
bananas or whatever, and I'm like, I don't smell any of that stuff.
it just smells like lemon to me. I don't know when you get so much of it.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay.
Last time I was out there, I was kind of just poking around, looking around, and like you say, it was in the evening, and it's getting close to dusk or getting that way, and I'm like, they were not happy with me. They were like, "Get out of here."
Yep. They
That's
got
what I
that way
did.
this evening.
I put them back together or put them back. I wasn't really deep into them at all. I just closed them up and like, all right, I'm getting in my truck. See you later.
We got by pretty good to about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and they started getting a little tired
Yeah.
And them old foragers all come back home. And it really wasn't a good, bright, sunny day here. It was kind of,
No. Well, here it's rained all day today here, and it's cold and raw. The only good thing I got done was my brother went to the doctor today, and I had some time after we had restocked some shelves and was able to change my oil in my truck. I, I don't drive my pickup truck that much, and it's like okay, and it has a timer on it about percentage of life of your oil, and it says, "All right, it's down to zero." And I looked at my notes. I said, "Yeah, well, no wonder it's been 12 months that I've changed the oil." And I checked the mileage is like I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 miles. It's like, well, all right, whatever.
you guys, he's talking about, I'm just, this isn't even bee talk in any way, shape, or form. You guys ever use any of that blue emu salve? Like on your, when you got muscle pain or anything like that? That stuff really
Uh,
works.
does it? I never
I
did.
used to go up there to the horse shop and get some beagle oil. That's for the horses.
Yep,
Rub
yep,
that on there.
I
yep.
use a one of them. I call it a singe unit. I don't know what it's called. It shock you. It sticks to your back, and you got a little unit. And you turn it on whatever you
Oh,
want.
okay, yeah, kind of vibe, kind of like, yeah, a little old light shock, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
And
That
Steve,
it's
thing does me wonders.
got a rheostat on it where you can turn it up and down however
Yeah,
fast you want to make it, yeah.
really, I haven't never seen one of them. I mean,
that
I know what
that thing really works now. If you just do it, every day for a few days.
Steve Amos uses that blue emu all the time. I think that's what you're talking about, isn't it, Jado?
Yeah, yeah, blue emu, yeah. It works. I'm not a big believer in that stuff. I used to go back, we used to go to the old uh, Watkins, the old Watkins salve stuff.
Yeah,
Watkins Lemonade.
Watkins had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Tom and Melissa's talking about their tens unit, like what you're talking about, Mark.
yeah. Talking
I
about Watkins, I need some of that tooth stuff. I gotta go get a tooth cut out Tuesday. I ain't gonna fool with it. I'm just getting it out.
Sure, I got you.
tens
Uh,
unit is fine, but I find with that it just masks the pain. It does feel good.
Yeah, but I've been in pain for 3 weeks. I'm ready to go get it cut out.
Yeah.
I've been eating about 10 Tylenol all day.
Yeah, it could get infected on you too.
Yeah, I'm taking antibiotics right now. Getting ready for him to do it.
Have Matt bring some pliers.
Yeah, that's what my wife said. Same thing. That ain't happening.
I told him if I come down there, I'd pull it for him. I don't
Yeah.
know. He didn't sound too enthused about that.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. I don't know where Matt's talking to. He's going to text you or me, but either way, why? If he
Matt,
mentions,
Matt, have you got home yet?
I
He's
think he's
driving. He
driving.
said
I don't know
the
where he's
last
going.
time he said he was driving.
I don't know where he can. Yeah. I think maybe he's telling he's going to text you after when he said he was still driving. Go text you in a little bit. I
yeah,
think maybe
probably.
that's to you, Mark. I don't know. We'll find out if he'll text you or me one, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, Steve Amos, he wouldn't recommend sting therapy for a toothache.
I had enough sting therapy today to last, or the last ordinary individual of a lifetime.
Mike says from Easy Ox, a little bit of mead and needle nose pliers.
Now, JW, will you be sore in the morning from them bee stings, or does it bother you?
Nah, don't bother me that much. I'm already. I if you want to know the truth, I probably shouldn't even say that. People think I'm crazy. I think if I
Matt
quit
says he'll
counting. I quit counting at about 20 stings today. I'm used to
the
it.
heck with that. Matt says he'll text you here shortly, JW.
Okay, Matt. I didn't. I'm the. I'll.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't. When
hang.
you say here, I'm not sure where he's at. There's
Okay.
two people. Hey, Carl.
Well, don't overdo it, JW. Now your back's killing you now.
I don't worry about it. You live till you die. I'm only 81.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm only 59, but I can only do so much too.
Yeah. I do pretty good to my old back. My discs are so bad I can actually when I go down I can actually feel them rubbing together. If I pick up something real heavy, I can feel the disc in my back.
Yeah,
Man, how
yeah.
can you stand that?
Well, you learn to live with it. I've had it for years. I didn't take very good care of my body when I was younger. Broke too many horses and pushed too many cows in my life. That bourbon, that's good stuff. I'll be loading up on that, Todd. You know for sure. I'm not a teetotaler by any means, but I can't hardly stand the smell of bourbon, let alone drink it.
Uh,
I
Yeah,
don't want none of that bourbon, that uh, Melissa's finest bourbon honey. Everybody, I don't like it.
yeah. I got some of Tom's bourbon honey, and I took it up to our club tasting we had about
Mhm.
I don't know, a month or two ago. It was well received. I had one lady. I think she came back for seconds and thirds.
Yeah, people like it, everybody but me, but I've never liked bourbon. It just,
just
I,
don't like
the
that
one-
taste, do you?
I OD'd on Maker's Mark one time. That cutty turned me
Oof.
off forever on,
Yeah, I used to
on
drink that Maker's Mark too. I know what you
I
mean.
OD'd on Baker's Mark, probably 20 years ago, and I can't hardly stand the smell of bourbon ever since. So,
Yeah. Well, guys, it's 10:30, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut this chat down. And I got to get up tomorrow and take care of the place here. I think my brother's leaving for vacation or whatever.
now go ahead and shut her down, Charlie, whenever you're
Tom,
ready. And
Tom
then
says we're
I
gonna
get
make a fireball version for JW.
yeah,
He'll like that better.
yeah.
Set him on fire.
I like that fireball. Now I keep it
Yeah,
on hand. It's strictly for municipal purposes, though. That's the only reason I
Yeah,
keep it. Strictly for
just
municipal
yeah.
purposes.
Hey Brian,
medicine. I got some medicine too, JW.
hey Brian. Yeah, I did see the honey tasting thing station from out there where you're at, and I actually see my honey sitting there too. That's pretty nice and all. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and shut everything down, guys. Thanks for coming out, and ladies, and and we'll see you either Monday night on Bill's show. I think he wasn't on tonight. I think he's coming down with the flu. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to do Monday nights because I've heard some people who one of my salespeople got it, and I think he was out for a week, and he sounded pretty doggone rough
Mm.
and everything. So, all right, well, we'll see you for sure Friday night. Yeah, if everything goes well next Friday night, I might be on the way to Georgia. I don't know. Well, I'll let everybody know if I can't make it, but we'll see you next week if anything everything goes well.